Hello everyone, this is Dr. Sabayan again for COP 1000 course. Today I'm going to discuss how to use Microsoft Visio. I'm going to click Start. I would go and select Visio, or you could just type it in here on your keyboard. Select Visio 2016, and right here you have a lot of diagrams on your screen, but I want you to click the basic flowchart because I'm going to walk you through how to use Microsoft Visio. So right now on the left side would be the different shapes. Visio is one software which is very famous for different types of diagrams such as network diagram, data flow diagram, flow charts, and many others. So for this one particularly, I'm going to walk through how to create your basic flowchart, which is part of, the tools that we're going to use for a couple of chapters. So on the left side here would be some basic flowchart shapes, okay? And let me discuss to you what are the different parts of, a flowchart. So by clicking one shape here, drag and drop on the right side of your screen, okay? So I'm going to kind of drag a couple of shapes and I will discuss further. The next one is I'm going to drag the shape. If you can see, when you drag one shape in here, you would notice that, there is like a green guide, like a line, so you would know that it's actually aligned on your work area. I'm going to make this one a little bigger so you could see, and I'm going to have another one right here, okay? And let's say I have another process, and then let's say I have another data, okay? And then I would put a termination symbol. Okay, so now this part in here, I have like multiple shapes. I'm going to explain the different shapes as we move forward. This one here would be the oval shape. If you can notice, there is an oval shape at the beginning and right here at the very end. Those are your termination or terminator symbols. So if you double click here, you could actually type start, okay? Click outside, so you could edit that. You could also put main if you want to make your flowchart to be more of like a program like, environment, okay? But for now, I would just type start. This symbol here is being used for anything processing or even your declaration. You could use this one. It's called a process symbol. So I'm going to double click that, and let's say for example I would like to declare variables. Declare, okay, x, or declare int x, okay, declare int y. I would do declare int z. Okay, so for now you would see I have three variables, x, y, and z. I all declare them to be integer data type. Okay, right here I have a parallelogram, which is an input and output symbol. So output, if you would like to display something on the screen, and if it's an input, it's the same shape but of course different functionality. I'm going to double click that one. Let's say I would like to have a display, enter the first number, okay? I'm going to put an extra space. I would have a double quotation to end the statement, okay? Because it's a string literal. Click outside. Now if you feel that it doesn't look nice, you could always stretch this one on the side. You can also do the same thing, okay? Let me remove that. There's like an arrow. Okay, let me close this connector, and I'm going to make it as a pointer. I'm going to extend that shape so all of them are on, I would say, the same shape, okay? So enter the first number right here. They might have the same shape, but this time I'm going to make this one as an input. I'm going to double click that. I would put input X. Okay, so any input from this side will be stored on this variable. Okay, now notice if I would like, let's say for example, to add these two variables, X and Y, I need to have another shape in here. I'm going to click outside. I would somehow adjust my shapes. Okay, I would have an output symbol here. Okay, you kind of want to compress a couple of shapes so that you have, enough spacing as you go through your entire flowchart. Okay, I'm going to extend that here. I'm going to resize. Okay, and in this part, I would say I would have a display. Enter the second number and click outside. I would have another shape in here. Now, one thing that I actually forgot to mention, if you're inserting a shape just like so, and it's active because of the frames, when you press Ctrl D, you will be able to duplicate that shape. So if you want to create that shape really fast, instead of dragging from the left side, you can do that. So I'm going to click it right here. I would double click. I would input Y. Okay. So I'm going to resize this one to kind of save the space, kind of stretch it out. Okay. And I need to add those two numbers. So let's say we're going to have a practice of let the user input two whole numbers and display the result or display the summation of those two numbers. I'm going to have a process symbol. Okay, I would do set command set z equals x plus y. So for this portion, I have x and y. I'm going to add it. I put it in a parentheses because it's a good habit if you, in any operation that you perform, you place it into a parentheses so that you would know that that's the priority. So anything inside of a parentheses would pertain to group, like a group of variables that you would like to perform, you would like to add in this case, and I'm going to store that one to the variable z. Okay, so this is an assignment statement. I'm going to add these two variables here, store it on the left side. So it's evaluated right to left. Set command, meaning to say you're going to set any value on the right side. If there's an operation, perform that operation and store it to z. Now, I'm all done with, having this 2 here. I need to display it. I'm going to have another output on this side. I think I have like multiple. Actually, I don't need that because I have this. I'm going to double click. I would type display. Okay. The sum is. Okay. And I'm going to put a comma and I would put z. Alright. Click outside. So this means that I'm going to retrieve the output from this equation or for this statement from the variable z. So the fact that it's outside double quotation, it's pertaining to a variable. If z is part of that quotation, or should I say if it's inside of that double quote, that means it's a string literal. It will display the sum is z, which does not make sense. This one will display the sum is whatever the sum that you actually perform in this section. And double click this one and I would put stop. So that's how it looks like. Now you need to put a connector. Okay, the connectors are somehow tricky because if your shapes are not fully aligned, this can be an issue. So click that connector, you can duplicate it, and that's going to be your guide to put all those connectors. I'm going to have another connector in here. Sometimes the connectors are kind of wiggly or whatnot. That means the shapes are not fully aligned to one another. So I would have one here. You see that? This one is somehow kind of twisted. I'm going to click X if you want to go out. Okay, I'm going to click that X one more time to activate the pointer tool. Go click here in my work area. I'm going to adjust my shape here on the right side. If you can see, while I'm still holding my mouse, notice that there's like a green double-sided arrow. That means all of them are into one structure, one straight structure. Okay, you can insert, click text box, and I would just like to insert a text box on the right side, just like so. I'm gonna click that and adjust the spacing in here. Click home again, go click paragraph group, make it the top and make it left aligned so that your pseudocode is not going to be in the middle part of this text box. So when you're actually working on a text box just like so, you are just duplicating anything that you have in your flowchart. But many of you would think that, why do I need to do that? Because in programming, it's all about practice. Isn't it that when you hear a song 10 times, on the 11th time, most likely 80% you memorize the whole song? Okay, I know this may sound as redundant, but guess what? Pseudocode is going to help you sharpen, you know, the skill in building your logic, if you have it on the side. So I would put, let me adjust my keyboard for that. There you go. I would put start here. Okay, I would have declare int x. You could put a comma and y comma z. If they're all on the same data type, you could have it all in one line. Enter the first number, double quotes. I'm going to adjust the font to have this one a lot bigger so you can see it. I'm going to make it 16 points just for demonstration. And then I would have an input with x, and as you move forward. So in here, I would like to have an extra space, okay, in, giving parts of my pseudocode. I would say it looks better. It's easier to read if you have those extra spaces. Combine what's necessary. You can actually just copy this and paste it somewhere like here, and then just edit as you go. Apply here, okay, and so on and so forth. You can just finish the whole pseudocode. And of course, if you have a start, there's a stop. If you use main, there should be an end. So you could add more shapes as you go. If you are using an off-page connector as a reference, use a pentagon here. If it's within the page, then you use an on-page connector or on-page reference. You could add a page by clicking the plus sign. You could always adjust your zoom. You could put different colors to fill in for your shapes, but I'm not really particular with that. I just want like a very, I would say, polished flowchart, so it's easier to understand. So this one is an example of a sequence structure, top-wise, top to bottom approach, declaration of your variables, your interaction, getting the values, and assignment statement by using an assignment operator, which is a single equal sign, and displaying the result for that. Okay, so I hope this is a good I would say, introduction to how flowcharts work using Microsoft Visio. I will see you on the next one, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye.